You glance at your phone and feel that familiar tightening in your stomach. The market's down. Again. Another headline is screaming about inflation. Another so-called expert is predicting a recession. And that feeling of being completely out of control washes over you. You're doing all the right things, saving, investing, trying to plan, but you're still drowning in financial stress, feeling like your future is a ship caught in a storm you can't possibly command. But what if I told you the key to real, unshakable financial peace isn't some hot stock tip or a complex trading algorithm, but a philosophy that's been battle-tested for over 2,000 years? A framework used by emperors, artists, and leaders not just to survive hardship, but to build lasting resilience and profound wealth. What if the secret to mastering your money wasn't about controlling the world, but about mastering yourself? For centuries, Stoicism has been the secret operating system for some of the most successful people in history. From the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius to America's founding father George Washington and even modern titans of industry. It's a mental toolkit for thriving in high-stakes environments. And there's no environment more chaotic than our financial lives. Now, let's be clear. This isn't a get-rich-quick video. You won't find any secret stocks or risky trading strategies here. We're talking about something far more valuable. This is a blueprint for building a mind that's immune to financial panic. A strategy for creating wealth that can withstand any economic storm. And a guide to finding true prosperity, regardless of the number in your bank account. The constant anxiety, the sleepless nights, that feeling of powerlessness, we're putting an end to that today. We're going to break down this ancient wisdom into 5 practical secrets that will give you a radical new framework for your financial future. Get ready to change not just how you see your money, but how you live your life. The absolute foundation of all Stoic thought, and honestly the most powerful financial tool you'll ever have, is a simple but life-changing idea: the dichotomy of control. The philosopher Epictetus, a man born a slave who rose to become one of the most respected thinkers in the Roman Empire, said it best. Some things are within our power, while others are not. Within our power are our opinions, motivations, and desires, basically, our own actions. Outside our power is, well, everything else. Our bodies, property, reputation, and the actions of others. Think about what that really means for your money. What actually causes you stress? It's not the numbers on a screen. It's tying your peace of mind to things you absolutely cannot control. You can't control the stock market's daily mood swings. You can't control whether the economy slides into a recession. You can't control a geopolitical event that sends gas prices through the roof. Wasting your precious mental and emotional energy obsessing over these things is, as the Stoics would say, a form of madness. It's like shouting at a hurricane to change course. It's pointless, it's exhausting, and it accomplishes nothing. The problem is, the modern world sells us an illusion of control. We have apps with real-time tickers, 24/7 news cycles analyzing every tiny economic blip, and a firehose of opinions telling us what's going to happen next. This flood of information tricks us into thinking we should be able to predict the future. And even worse, that we should act on every new piece of information. This is a recipe for disaster. It leads to panic selling at the bottom and FOMO buying at the top. So, the first secret is to be ruthless. Brutally and honestly, separate what you can control from what you can't. Then, pour every ounce of your energy into what you can control. So, what's on that list? You control your savings rate. That's 100% you. You control your spending. You decide if that purchase is more important than your future freedom. You control how much you learn. You control your investment strategy *, not the outcome, but the process. You can decide to invest in a low-cost, diversified portfolio every single month. No matter what the headlines say, you can control the skills you develop to earn more money. This isn't about sitting back and doing nothing, it's the ultimate call to action. It's about shifting your identity from a nervous spectator of the global economy to the powerful CEO of your personal economy. Imagine a captain in a storm. She can't control the wind or the waves. Raging at the sky is useless. But she can control the rudder, the sails, and her crew. She can focus on navigating with skill and courage. Your financial life is that ship. Stop screaming at the waves. Grab the rudder. Focus on your savings rate, your budget, your automatic investments, your skills. This is the first, most critical step. Your goal isn't to predict the future, but to build a personal financial system so robust and disciplined that it doesn't need to. Once you've separated what you can control from what you can't, the next step is to change how you think about the things you can't. The Stoics had a brilliant concept for this: preferred indifference. Things like wealth, health, and social status are indifferent because they are external to your character. They don't make you a good or bad person, but they're preferred because, all else being equal, it's obviously better to have them than not. This might sound a little academic, but it's a psychological superpower. When you reframe a market crash from a catastrophe to a preferred indifferent taking a downturn, you strip it of its emotional power over you. The event itself isn't good or bad, your response to it is. Will you react with panic, or with reason? That choice is all yours. To build this mental armor, the Stoics practiced something called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of bad things. This isn't about being a pessimist, it's about being a realist. Think of it as an emotional vaccine. The philosopher Seneca, one of the richest men in Rome, did this all the time. He'd mentally rehearse losing his wealth, being exiled, or even his own death. He said, "What is quite unlooked for is more crushing in its effect." This is a reason for ensuring that nothing is unexpected by us. So, how do we apply this? We run financial fire drills. Sit down when you're calm and deliberately imagine a nasty market downturn. Picture your portfolio dropping 40%. Let yourself feel that knot in your stomach. Acknowledge the fear. Then, ask yourself, okay, what's the plan? What would I actually do? Does this event change my long-term goals? Is my diversified portfolio doing what it's supposed to do? By rehearsing the scenario, you take away its shock value. If and when a real crisis hits, you've already been there mentally. You won't be reacting with raw, primal fear. You'll be executing a plan you've already made. You'll be the calm one in a room full of panic. This isn't just a mental game. It has a practical, physical counterpart: your emergency fund. An emergency fund is stoicism in cash. You are anticipating future misfortune, a job loss, a medical bill, a car repair, and proactively building a wall against it. This fund isn't built from fear, it's built from wisdom. It's you taking control of what you can, to insulate yourself from what you can't. We live in a world that is expertly engineered to make us feel like we're not enough. Every time you unlock your phone, you're hit with a tidal wave of things you don't have: a friend's perfect vacation, an influencer's new car, an ad for a product that promises happiness. This creates a constant, low-grade hum of inadequacy and a relentless craving for more. Psychologists call this the hedonic treadmill. You get a raise, feel great for a week, and then your desires just reset to a new, higher level. The Stoics spotted this trap 2,000 years ago. They knew that wealth isn't about how much you have, it's about the size of the gap between what you have and what you want. There are two ways to get richer: earn more, or desire less. The second path is far more within your control and leads to a much more stable kind of happiness. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, literally the emperor of Rome, wrote in his private journal, "Very little is needed to make a happy life, it is all within yourself." In your way of thinking. The third secret is to consciously define what enough means to you. This is a radical act in our consumer culture. It means detaching your self-worth from your net worth. The comparison game is rigged. You can never win because the goalposts are always moving. The only winning move is to refuse to play. So how do we do this? Start with mindful consumption. Before you buy anything non-essential, just pause. Ask yourself a few questions. Why do I really want this? Is it a genuine need, or a desire manufactured by an ad or social media? Will this thing actually add lasting value to my life? What is the real cost of this, not in dollars, but in the hours of my life I traded to earn that money? This isn't about becoming a monk and denying yourself all pleasure. It's about being the master of your desires, not their slave. It's about making sure your spending is a conscious choice that reflects your true values, not just an impulsive reaction. This shift naturally leads to value-based budgeting. Instead of just tracking where your money goes, you actively direct it toward what you care about most. If you value freedom, every dollar you invest is a vote for that future. If you value experiences, a travel fund becomes a source of joy, not a guilty expense. When you define enough, something incredible happens. The anxiety of keeping up just melts away. You step off the treadmill. You find peace in what you have, which, paradoxically, makes it 10 times easier to build real, lasting wealth. You're no longer trying to fill a bucket with 1,000 tiny holes. Okay, before we get to our fourth secret, and this one will completely redefine how you think about wealth, if this is already starting to click for you, do me a quick favor and hit that like button and subscribe. It tells the algorithm that this is valuable, and it helps get this message out to more people who are stressed about money and looking for a better way. It genuinely makes a huge difference. What is wealth? For 99% of people, the answer is a number. $1 million, 10 million, a specific income. We can spend our whole lives chasing that number, telling ourselves that once we hit it, we'll finally be happy, secure, and successful. A Stoic would call this a tragic mistake. Chasing a number is like chasing a ghost. The hedonic treadmill guarantees that as soon as you reach it, a new, bigger number will take its place. The Stoics had a much better definition of wealth. For them, the only true wealth was eudaimonia *, a Greek word that means living a life of virtue and purpose. Or simply, human flourishing. In this model, true wealth is a portfolio of assets that includes things like peace of mind, strong character, good health, deep relationships, and a sense of purpose. Money is just a tool. It's a preferred indifferent that can either help you build that portfolio or, if used poorly, can actually get in the way. Think about it. A person with millions in the bank who lives in constant fear of losing it. Who has shallow relationships and poor health. Is that person truly wealthy? The Stoics would say no. They are poor in every way that actually matters. Now, imagine a person with modest savings, no debt, work they find meaningful, loving friends and family, and a calm, resilient mind. Who's the richer of the two? The fourth secret is to tear down your old, number-based definition of wealth and replace it with this one. This changes everything. When your goal shifts from accumulate the most money to cultivate the best life, your financial decisions become crystal clear. You stop asking, what will make me the most money? And you start asking, how can I use my money as a tool to live a better, more meaningful life? Maybe that means taking a slightly lower paying job that gives you more time with your kids. Maybe it means spending money on a gym membership or healthy food, seeing it as an investment in your well-being. Maybe it means being more generous, which the Stoics believed was essential to a good life. It might mean prioritizing experiences that create lifelong memories over objects that provide a temporary buzz. This redefinition is the ultimate cure for financial anxiety. When money is a tool and not the end-all be-all, you hold it with an open hand. Your self-worth is no longer tied to your net worth. It's tied to your character. As Seneca, despite his vast fortune, wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Philosophy without action is just a nice idea. Stoicism was always meant to be practiced. So the fifth and final secret is turning these big ideas into a concrete daily action plan. This is how you go from knowing this stuff to living it. There are 3 core habits to build, starting today. First, the daily financial check-in. The Stoics were big on journaling. At the end of each day, they'd review their actions. We can adapt this into a quick 5-minute financial habit. Before you go to bed, just ask yourself, where did my money go today? Did that spending align with my real values? What financial news made me feel something today? Fear? Greed? Did I react emotionally? How could I have responded with more logic? Did I focus on what I can control today? My savings, my work, my learning. What's one small thing I can do tomorrow to strengthen my financial position and my peace of mind? This isn't about judging yourself. It's about building awareness. It's mental conditioning. Second, set process-based goals. Society tells us to set goals like, I want to be a millionaire by 40. A Stoic would say that's a broken goal because the outcome isn't totally in your control. A market crash or a health crisis could derail it, leaving you feeling like a failure. Instead, You set goals based on your process asterisk. Things that are 100% within your control. Your goal isn't, become a millionaire. It's, I will save and invest 20% of my income this month. Your goal isn't, my stocks must go up. It's, I will stick to my investment plan, regardless of market noise. Your goal isn't, get rich. It's, I will spend 1 hour this week learning a new skill to increase my value. See the difference? Process goals are about your discipline and your effort. You can win every single day. And when you focus on a smart process, good outcomes tend to take care of themselves. Third, the view from above. Whenever you feel buried by a financial problem, a big bill, a stock that has tanked, practice what the Stoics called the view from above. Marcus Aurelius would mentally zoom out. He'd picture himself, then Rome, then the whole world, then the vastness of space and time. From that cosmic perspective, his problems, which felt so huge up close, shrank to their actual size. You can do this with your finances. Zoom out. This one bad month, in a 40-year investing journey, is just a blip. This one unexpected expense, in the context of a lifetime of earnings, is manageable. The point isn't to ignore your problems, but to right-size them. It drains them of their emotional power, so you can solve them with a clear head. We started this journey feeling stressed and powerless, a ship tossed in a storm. But now you have the tools. You have the same wisdom that guided the greatest minds in history through war, plagues, and utter chaos. You now know to grab the rudder and focus only on what you can control, your actions, your discipline, and your character. You know how to prepare your mind for any storm, making you financially and emotionally unbreakable. You know how to escape the trap of more by defining what's enough for you. You have a richer, more human definition of wealth, and you have a practical plan to put it all into action. The ultimate goal of Stoicism isn't to get rich, it's to become free. Free from fear, free from anxiety, free from needing the approval of others. True financial freedom isn't having enough money to buy whatever you want. It's building a mind that doesn't want anything outside of its control. It is a state of inner peace and resilience that no market crash, no recession, and no headline can ever take away from you. That is the real treasure. Now go and start building it.